This is Pet Life Radio. Let's talk pets.
This show is brought to you by Pet King Brands, the makers of Zymox and Oratine.
It's Oh Behave with Arden Moore, the show that teaches you how to have harmony in the household with your pets. Join Arden as she travels coast to coast to help millions better understand why cats and dogs do what they do. Get the latest scoop on famous faces, their perfectly pampered pets, and who's walking who in Rin Tin Tinseltown. From famous pet experts and best-selling authors to television and movie stars, you'll get the latest buzz from wagging tongues and tails. Garner great pet tips and have a doggone fur-flying fun time. So get ready for the pause and applause as we unleash your Oh Behave host, America's pet edutainer, Arden Moore.
Welcome to the Oh Behave Show on Pet Life Radio. I'm your host, Arden Moore. We're unleashing a double delight for all you feline fans. We have not one, but two of the top cat champions on the planet as our special guests today. And we will find out the connection they both have to Richard Simmons. Yeah, that flamboyant, high-energy fitness instructor from the 70s and 80s. So are you curious as, say, a cat? Well, without further ado, please join me in giving a marvelous welcome to our guest, cat behaviorist, cat rescue extraordinaire, Rita Reimers, and Just for Cats Pet Sitting Executive Director, Linda Hall. Woo! Welcome to the show, ladies.
Thank you so much for having us, Arden.
All right, and Linda, it's good to hear from you, too. How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
All right, guys. We are going to wrangle all things cats with these two feline experts after we pay for this show by taking this quick commercial break. So join your lap cat in a purr session. We'll be right back.
Time for a pause. 4 furry ones, actually. Sit and stay. Oh Behave will be right back.
Hey, pet pals, Arden Moore here. Welcome to spring and summer, the onset of itchy skin and allergy season. Is your pet dealing with itchy skin, hot spots, and even ear infections? Help is here. It is Zymox shampoo and conditioner to the rescue. Not only is this a shampoo and conditioner great for general bathing and healthy skin support, but it is the go-to shampoo and conditioner for itchy pets. Its patented enzyme formula is loaded with antibacterial and antifungal properties to ease the itch and stop the scratching. And as an added bonus, Zymox shampoos and conditioners give off a lovely, pleasant, non-medicine smell. For over 20 years, Zymox products have been helping pets find relief from many health conditions. All Zymox skin and ear products get their effectiveness from enzymes. Zymox contains no antibiotics and no petroleum byproducts, just the soothing power of enzymes. Zymox can be found at your veterinary clinic, most pet specialty stores, and online. To learn more, dash over to www.zymox.com. That's ZYMOX for your pet's sake.
Let's Talk Pets on PetLifeRadio.com. Oh Behave is back with more tail-wagging ways to achieve harmony in the household with your pets. Now back to your fetching host, America's pet edutainer, Arden Moore.
Welcome back to the Oh Behave Show on Pet Life Radio. I'm your host, Arden Moore. Our special guests today have dedicated their lives to advocate for cats in so many ways. Now, if I read all their biographical accomplishments on the air, listeners, I think we're going to run out of time to even ask a single question. So let me just try to give you a quick peek into who they are. First up, we have Rita Reimers. She is a cat behaviorist, author, magazine columnist, cat rescuer, and owner of Just for Cats Pet Sitting. It's based in the Carolinas. Welcome to the show, Rita.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so happy to be here.
All right. And her longtime business partner is Linda Hall. She serves as executive director for the pet sitting company and Rita Reimer. Boy, that's a hard thing to say. Rita Reimers businesses. I'm going to rhyme with Rita Reimer. Okay. So ladies, before we discuss all things cat, it is time to let this particular cat out of the bag. And I'm going to ask this question first to Linda. What the heck is your connection to that zany fitness instructor who danced to the oldies in that red and white striped, very short workout shorts? I'm talking about Richard Simmons. I'm going to start with you, Linda. What is that all about?
I started by using his program, and I got in a couple of his infomercials, and we developed a friendship, and then he hired me to work on his site, and I worked with him for 17 and a half years.
Wow.
Until he went into retirement, and then I got a phone call from that cat lady who wanted to use my skills with her, so it was a good transition.
So you mean by that cat lady, you mean Miss Rita Reimers, right?
I do.
So go ahead. You were about to say what, Rita?
I stole her away from Richard. But you know what? Linda, she is forgetting to mention that she was the first success story on Richard's first infomercial.
Really?
And they used that clip in a Mel Gibson movie, What Women Want. She made Mel Gibson cry.
Well, you got to dish, baby, dish. Rita, set us up, and then Linda, follow up after this. So what do you mean? Give me details.
Well, if you watch that movie, What Women Want,
yes.
And he was trying to get into the women's head and he was watching TV and they showed Linda's very emotional on the infomercial about how she lost the weight. And Mel Gibson was watching her and was crying. So she jokes around that she actually made Mel Gibson cry.
And if you don't mind, Linda, so you were first a client with Richard Simmons, or tell me.
Yeah, I bought Deal-A-Meal and I started losing weight. And my husband at the time talked me into sending my story into the magazine, and they put me in the magazine. I got to meet him, and then he invited me to do an infomercial. And I was just talking from the heart, and apparently it went over very, very well. So then, one night I got a call from this woman. She said, "Hi, my name's Beth Unger Morrison. I work for Paramount." I'm thinking, you got the wrong number, sweetheart. You are calling Ohio. But then she said she got my name from Michael Catalano, who is Richard's agent. So I listened, and she said that the director or producer or somebody was up late one night, saw my infomercial and cried, and she wanted Mel to be sensitive to the things that women are sensitive to. So they put me in it.
Well, that's pretty cool. And so what's Richard Simmons like back in the heyday? I know he's kind of being a little bit of a self-motivated hermit these days. That's cool. Yeah. But, he did help a lot of people. So what was he like off camera?
Honest to God, what you see is what you get. He's
really?
The man, I swear. I've often said he's unmedicated severe ADD, but if they'd medicated him, he probably wouldn't have had a career. So,
okay.
And also very giving. I mean,
that's
the reason I actually started working for him was because my husband was ill, seriously ill. He passed away 2.5 years later, and I was going to have to stop working as a nurse's aide and stay home with him. So Richard gave me a job working on the website. So, nice. Pretty cool guy. Yeah.
Right. So as you can tell, listeners, we have an interesting dynamic duel here on the air. And I'm going to go next to Rita. And Rita, I want everybody, I'm holding in front of me. You don't see it because I took off my video part, but I have the 3 latest issues of Catster Magazine. And guys, it used to be called Cat Fancy. And then it became Catster because it sounds kind of hip, And it also does more than just talk about breeds. It talks about all kinds of cats. And every issue, you can find an amazing column by Rita called New Catitude. And Rita, there's a quote you've said that I really love because I is a reporter, so I check you out. Your famous motto is, "I never met a cat I couldn't help." So first, welcome to the show, long time in coming. And second, talk about that motto, that life philosophy you have.
Well, I love cats. There's no doubt about that. I've been working in rescue for many years and owning Just for Cats pet sitting. We actually started in Los Angeles. Usually when a cat is having some kind of behavioral issue, it's due to something in their past, something you may not even know about if you've adopted a cat from a rescue or shelter. And it's more adjusting how we treat the kitties and we react to their behaviors that helps us to mold their personalities or help them get over their past traumas. So I've really never met a cat that I couldn't help in some way by helping their owners to understand them.
So right now, give us kind of a visual. If we stepped into your house right now, first people are going to gasp when you give the count, but then back that up with how you provide indoor enrichment. So I'm going to be a video camera inside Rita Reimers. Reimers' home. Tell us a little bit about what's going on there, lady.
Well, I have 19 cats and counting. That's a
Okay.
joke. My max is 20. I don't go over 20. And no, that doesn't mean I have an opening. Of course, if somebody calls me, I'm very networked into the rescue community here in, I'm just south of Charlotte, North Carolina.
And what's your street address? Just kidding.
Actually, I'll find one on my doorstep.
And we look for the light on the porch. Okay, go ahead.
Oh, really? There is a wild cat I do feed in my backyard, but I think she belongs to the barn that's behind me. But anyway, I digress. My mom is the founder of the Lancaster Humane Society in Lancaster, South Carolina. So through her, I've become acquainted since I've been back in the Carolinas with a lot of rescues and shelters. I've had a few calls from the shelters. Hey, I have this 4-week-old cat with a dangly leg. I'm going to have to euthanize it if you don't take it. Well, guess what? I take it.
Okay.
I took her brother too, and they're still here, Sonny and Smoochie. I do provide indoor enrichment in a lot of vertical space cat trees, a lot of cat beds. Of course, my beds are their beds.
Yeah.
Last year, I moved to a 2-story home that's 2,400 square feet, which is roughly double what we had before. And my cats just love running up and down the stairs. They've got queen bed upstairs. They've got the king bed downstairs. They've got a bonus room that has 2 full-size couches and litter boxes. And of course, the sofas downstairs. There's nothing that's off limits to them except my closet. And
Okay, good.
But that's all that's off limits to them. But they all get along, of course, just like with children. There's going to be times when there's a little bickering here and there. Nobody gets along 100% of the time perfectly, but by and large, they get along. They share space. They share me. And the big secret is making sure that I touch every single one of them every day. Most of them will come to me for attention, but there's some that are shyer that I need to seek out. And I need to make sure I pay attention to.
Well, when you're talking about cats, because they're not pleasers like dogs, what are some things that you can point out to folks if they are in a multi-cat household that says, hey, you might want to share a little love to this one or give this one a little space? Can you give a couple of tips?
Sure. You may say that they don't love or seek attention the way dogs do, but in a way they do. I mean, the more outgoing ones will come to me and jump on me and, let me know they want love. But the shyer ones, they may just, be in the room with me, be across the room laying on the chair or something and not come over to me as readily, maybe because the other ones are hogging me. So I make sure I get up and go over to those ones. I have one that's a semi-feral and one that's really shy because she was abused. And they like to hang out upstairs together. I make sure I go upstairs and I lay on the floor and talk to them. I can't really pet Brownie, but sometimes I can pet Picasso. I can tell when she wants petting because she'll actually stand and not run from me. And then I know I need to creep up really slow in the way I offer my hand. And I can tell if she wants me to touch her or not. She'll stay still if she wants me to touch her. When it's thundering, she really wants me to pet her. She'll let me know.
And what about you, Linda? Are you in a cat house? Do you have cats, dogs, parrots? What do you got?
8 cats.
Oh, come on. That's so little.
Right? I used to be embarrassed when people, how many cats do you? Oh, I have a few. But then Rita comes out with 19. I'm like, 8. I got 8. It's nothing. And actually what happens when Rita's house gets full is she starts sending other people these pictures. 2 of my cats are from North Carolina.
Okay.
I tell the vet they have a southern twang because the local rescue near Rita was after the feral colony and got this orange boy, and he was not feral. He just started purring and loving on her, but he's FIV positive and basically, unadoptable. So she kept working on it. So I adopted him. And then I went to see her 7 months later and found out that he had a girlfriend he's bonded to. And she's semi-feral. I can't touch her, but she's his girlfriend. So, of course, sorry about that charge on the credit card, honey, but I'm bringing a cat home.
Oh, is that what you said to your husband?
Yep. Yeah. Every time I leave for a trip now, he says, do not bring home any more animals.
So what's the boy and the girl's name, the kitty cats?
Well, I named the boy Kismet because he was meant to be. It was really meant to be. And so then I named her Karma. So it's Kismet and Karma.
Good.
And they're like an old married couple. They just love each other to death.
Good. And what were you going to say, Rita?
That's her soul cat. So that ended up being like her special kitty.
Yeah.
He's my other kid, yeah. He's so my kid. I mean, I love all my cats, but there's just something about Kismet. So, yeah.
Well, I think they talk about dogs of having a heart dog, but you can't tell me I have a heart cat. And my cat, Casey, my pet safety cat, he's actually my first orange tabby I've ever had. And we just look at each other and communicate. So I'm going to put this on for you, Rita. Tell us a little bit about your pet sitting business and what's going on now with this wonderful pandemic. And our cats are trapped in homes all across the planet with humans. Well, what are a few things that we can do as people, two-leggers, that can lower the stress for these cats that are used to like 17 naps while we're away at work?
I know. Well, Just for Cats Pet Sitting Los Angeles has merged with Meowtel.
Okay.
Unfortunately, because of COVID, travel is down. They're still getting some bookings in LA, but here in the Carolinas, I still own Just for Cats Pet Sitting here in the Carolinas by myself. Everything's canceled. Nobody's traveling. We have a couple people now that reached out for May in case we can travel in July. But our cats first, now we're home. Mine are used to me being home.
Right. I'm talking about the folks that do a regular 9 to 5 and the cats are like, why are you still here?
Yeah, exactly. You're in my routine. I'm usually sleeping right now. Why are you here? But now they've become more accustomed to us being at home. So when we all go back to work, we're going to have to look at some separation anxiety issues, especially in only cats. So what I suggest to people is if you're working from home, go up into your office and shut yourself in your office for a few hours a day. Make sure you're not 100% accessible to your cats all day long. So they're still used to having some time on their own as well. So when you go back to work, it's not so much of a shock that they're on their own.
That's a really good tip because you want to wear them like a blanket, but that's probably going to backfire, right?
Exactly. Last thing you want is a cat with anxiety issues because that leads to stress and behavioral problems. So
what would be some signs that you are freaking me out, human? What would be some signs either of separation anxiety or just right now whether we're not giving them time to have me time? Well, sometimes my Simba, my orange tabby, he's very clingy. And if I get up and just go to walk into another room, he's grabbing on my leg and trying to climb up me like, where are you going? Don't leave without me. And I know I need to go shut myself in my office for a few hours, let him have some time on his own. Okay, good. And then, especially your shyer cats, or the, ones that maybe aren't as outgoing, they're not used to having to be there with you 24/7. So cats, they sleep 18 hours a day anyway. You might be interrupting that, and they need some of that alone time. How are you coping, Linda, at home with your awesome 8?
Yeah, well, because I also work from home, so same thing. But my husband, who is a banker, he's been home a lot more. And, of course, my 15-year-old son, school's out. So, yeah, it's a little weird around here. But Rita has, and I love it's a trick to remember things. She has this pegs that she taught me, and she said, cats in nature will go out and get their pee prey. So she said, play with them and let them catch it eventually. And then E is eat, so then feed them. G is groom, they'll go off to groom themselves. And then F, they'll go off to sleep. And she said, if you do that in the morning and in the evening, especially in the morning, then they'll go sleep for a while and let you have a break. And it's also a good routine to start so that if you work outside of the home and you go back to work, you can continue that and run through the play, eat, groom, sleep in the morning before you go off to work so that their routine is still the same.
So play, eat, groom, sleep. I'm kind of envisioning, Rita, a new T-shirt and you being the next Julia Roberts. Yeah. Come on, talk about that. Talk about the PEGS acronym. I especially like that at night because a lot of people call me and say, why does my cat wake me up at 3:00 in the morning? What, did you play with them today? So I try to feed my cats their evening meal, not too much before my bedtime when I'm going to bed at normal hours, so that I've done the play, eat, then they're grooming and going to sleep right around the time I want to go to sleep. Good idea. They sleep longer, Do you want to get a T-shirt that says PEGS with a cat on it? I would love that. I just made you some money, girl. There you go. I would buy that shirt. I would buy that shirt. Well, the other thing is, let's talk a little bit about, you mentioned a little bit about your mom, Rita, because it sounds like it's in the gene pool to be an animal advocate. So tell us a little bit about your mom and growing up. And do you remember your first cat?
My first cat I wasn't able to keep because my dad was allergic. Her name was Mitzi. My grandfather gave her to me. She's on my website. When I was about 8 or 9 years old. Unfortunately, we couldn't keep her. So I had a dog growing up. We got Blazer when I was 10. He was a Lab Golden Mix. I adored him.
Yep.
Great dog. He was more my dad's dog than mine. But as soon as I got married, my then husband, I said, as soon as we buy a house, we have to have a cat. So we got 2 cats.
Okay. That was in the vows, I bet. I bet they were in the wedding vows.
It could have been. But he was a cat lover too.
Yeah.
So I finally, as an adult, got to have cats. But I should mention my dad's aunt, my Aunt Chessa. She lived in the country. She was doing TNR before TNR was cool.
Wow. And for the 2 people that don't know what that means, please explain.
Trap, neuter, release.
Okay.
She lived in the country. There was a lot of wild cats outside. She would feed them and then she would, trap them, and we would help her take them in to get the cats spayed and neutered so they weren't making a lot of little kitties out there.
Nice.
So she was the original cat lady of the family, and I must have inherited her genes.
All right. How about you, Linda? What's your childhood cat story?
It's funny because, my mom was allergic to cats. We had poodles growing up. So,
okay.
But I married a man who was a cat lover, and I actually have allergies too, but I've learned how to deal. And my kids loved them, and my one daughter wanted to volunteer at the local rescue, Friends of Felines Rescue Center, but she was under 16, so she had to have an adult come with her.
Okay.
Yeah, that was smart. So I'm just going to sit, this is trouble, run. So I'm just, I'm going to sit in a chair and let her do her thing. Now, of course, I fall in love. So I come home talking about super. And my husband was like, no cats. He was raised in the country, and cats are barn cats, and he didn't get it. And finally, he got annoyed with us enough, I think, that he said, go get Subra. And then it was, Subra needs a playmate. And, so,
right.
So then it was, okay, 2 cats, no more than 2. Well, here we are. And there's usually a cat sitting on his lap. So he succumbed. We won him over.
Good. I like that. And I have a feeling that you 2 both agree with this. I say real men love cats. And Rita, go first. Tell us what you think about that.
I agree with that. And I noticed in my pet sitting company, more and more men, single men, were starting to have cats, gay or straight. And also the couples, a lot of time it was the man who was calling us to make the appointment. And
okay.
For my cats, why wouldn't I be the one to call you? So cats are really starting to be embraced by men more and more because especially people that work late or have a funky schedule. With a dog, you've got to get home and walk your dog, make sure, he doesn't pee or poop in the house, that kind of thing. And with a cat, you can be a little more leisurely about that.
Right. That's it. What do you think about this theory, real men love cats, Linda?
Definitely. I mean, you don't have to, cats don't tend to be as love me, pay attention to me. So they're perfect for somebody, they're fairly low maintenance. Mm-hmm. And I watched my husband just melt, and it was funny after, no cats, to watch him. He's almost always got a cat on his lap if he's working at the computer or takes a nap on the couch. There's somebody next to him. Yeah, you can't help it.
Well, that sounds great. Hey, folks, we're speaking with a couple of cool cats by the name of Rita Reimers and Linda Hall. I want you after the show to please dash over to justforcatspetsitting.com. And this is even easier. Just go to ritareimers.com. Go RITAREIMERS.com. And you're going to find out a lot more about them. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back. So sit and purr.
Time for a walk on the red carpet, of course. All Behave will be back in a flash right after these messages.
Pause up, pet pals. Arden Moore here with my very happy dog, Kona. Hey, we enjoy getting deliveries, and surprise, surprise, so do our dogs. Right, Kona? With a Kong Box subscription, your dog gets 2 great toys, 3 delicious treats, plus 2 recipes or tips delivered to your home every month or every other month. Now, Kona spun in a circle and wagged her tail like a fan on high speed when her Kong Box arrived. She received a stuffed bear toy with squeaker, chicken-flavored Kong bites, plus a Kong goodie bone, a Kong classic I stuffed with a Kong sweet potato spread. The box also came with a training tip to deal with bored boredom, and a recipe to make Toby's tasty treats. Possum, your turn to treat your dog for a limited time when you sign up for a 6 or 12-month subscription and donate $1 to Best Friends Animal Society to help other dogs in need. You can get your first Kong box free. After that, you receive a new box every month or every other month, custom for your dog for as little as $29.95, and shipping is free. So, dash over to kongbox.com/behave to get your first Kong box free with your subscription and a $1 donation. kongbox.com/behave. That's kongbox.com/behave. It's time to wrap this up because Kona's letting me know it's time for me to stuff her Kong goodie bone. Good girl.
Let's talk pets
Let's talk pets
on Pet Life Radio.
Pet Life Radio.
PetLifeRadio.com.
Hi, this is Jen Davis, the creator of Garfield, urging you to listen to the Oh Behave Show with Arden Moore on Pet Life Radio.
Oh, yeah? We'll see about that.
We're back from the lot. Just checked the paper and we had a record showing at the box. The letterbox, that is. Now back to Oh Behave. Here's Arden.
Welcome back to the Old Behave Show on Pet Life Radio. I'm your host, Arden Moore, and I'm having a good time. I guess I wish this show could last for hours because there's a lot of questions I have. But Rita, you don't just talk the talk or meow the meow. You actually make a difference for people and their pets. She writes a lot, guys. She's got a book out. She's done videos, she's been back and forth all over this great country. I just want to ask you a little bit about what the heck is Club Catitude?
Club Catitude, and the name came from my column in Catster.
Okay.
Instead of mine doing one-on-one behavior sessions, I'm drinking the same thing you are. I have decided to create this clubhouse where people can actually come to the clubhouse, get advice from me, from my staff, from each other.
Okay.
Instead of having to spend, $400 on a cat behavior session. Sometimes somebody's husband or wife doesn't really want them to spend that kind of money, but, $19 a month to become part of our clubhouse.
Yeah.
I also have in there all the behavior videos I did for Petcha and Catster, some personal videos. Catster has graciously given me PDFs of all of my past columns. Of course, the current year is not out there, but people can download and read all of those.
Good.
My book, Sadie's Heart, is available for people to read online. Of course, if they want to purchase a copy at Amazon, there's a link to that as well. We're going to have some weekly chats in the clubhouse where we have some awesome sponsors.
Good.
Donated these wonderful gifts. So we're going to have some contests and prizes. I believe we already gave away one monthly prize.
Is it a brand new car?
No, I wish. Me first. Me first.
We can't give away a cat, but we can give away all kinds of other things. Litter Genie, Pretty Litter, of course, Catster, Cat Lady Box, and Spangler's Candy are all awesome sponsors that we have donating prizes. And if we're ever able to travel again, we'll finally get to launch our first annual Catitude cruise, which we're so excited about. I hated we had to postpone it, but it is what it is.
Okay, so Linda, are you part of that too, the cruise? Are you a cat cruiser?
I am so
all right.
excited.
So you're kind of like the business end. So tell us, I know this caught all of us off guard, but in a world free of COVID-19, what is the goal eventually? We'll start with Linda first. You actually want to have a cruise ship? Cats don't like the water, do they?
No, actually, we've had a lot of people. Can I bring my cat? No. And I'd be too scared when they come in to put that little animal pillow towel thing on your bed. I'd be afraid the cat would run out. But we're going to have, talks. One of our stops was going to be where there's a big cat, Hemingway House with the six-toed cats. We also
I've been there a couple times. Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait. So, keep a cat theme. We're going to have a kitty PJ party. And most of all, a chance for people, where your cat, I had a lot of cat pajamas. Anyway.
Yeah.
And one of the biggest things is just being able to talk to Rita and have our sessions, because it's amazing. Some things that look so insurmountable, behavior problems that can be solved fairly easily. I love telling the story. My parents' winter in Florida, and my mom called me and said, your dad's going to throw this cat out in about 2 seconds. He keeps peeing on our bed. And I instantly channeled Rita and said, has he been to the vet? He might have a UTI. Have you changed litter lately? Yes. We changed litter to one that's lighter for Dad. Yep, that's why he doesn't like the litter. They went back to the old litter, and the problem was solved.
Nice. So your dad now uses a different type of litter? Just kidding.
Yeah, he's back to the heavy stuff because it's what the cat wants.
Or it's what the cat likes.
Well, let's talk about. So, is it on hold right now, Rita, the cruise? Because I know it was going to come out of Miami in the fall, but I know things are upside down and inside out and everything.
It's on hold. We've had a few people, say they want to go if and when we're all able to travel again by then. So, and then, of course, because the cruise ship that was contaminated, a lot of people are leery to even do a cruise. So we were thinking of maybe doing a land cruise first before we do an ocean cruise. We're not sure. We just have to see what happens.
My money's on you, Rita, that you're going to come up with a creative way to get the word out about how great cats are and have a potty doing so, right?
Oh, they're awesome. If I can just go back to one thing Linda said, our cats are low maintenance. They are in a way, but my mom has 8 dogs. I think I've talked to you about this. And when I visit my mom and then I go home to my 19 cats, so much easier than the 8. I love them, but I love leaving them there.
Let me see you. Let me say hi. Let me say hi. Let me say tail, wag, wag.
Exactly.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Well, I have giant, medium, and small of the dogs. And in our home, we have, let's see how we do this. We call it the furry Brady Bunch, but we have 4 core cats, if you will. Casey, Rusty, Mikey, and One-Eyed Mort. And then we have an outdoor cat we take care of, Baxter, who's a black and white fluffy cat that he loves to pee on everything. So, and there was this in our neighborhood, apparently before I got married and moved here, there was an old man that loved cats, but didn't know about spaying and neutering. And Julie, my wife, and others took up the gauntlet and spent thousands of dollars, got them all spayed and neutered, took care of the community cats. And there's a couple left. I'm not kidding, Rita. This cat shows up at our door at 5 a.m. and 5 p.m. because Julie gets up early and I feed it the evening shift. He doesn't even have a kitty watch on. I don't see it. But boy, talk about cats and their inner time clock. They do know when it's mealtime, don't they, Rita?
They do. And they love routine, and that's become his routine.
So if you had to say some things why you love cats, and I only know the show is not an all-day show, so this is not a day-long marathon. What are 3 things that you love about cats, Rita? And I'm going to let Linda think about this too, so you answer next. What are 3 things you love about cats, Rita, that may surprise people?
Well, I love that cats make you earn their love. They don't just give it to you freely. You've got to do something to earn it. And to keep it every day, too. I mean, if you suddenly change your behavior toward them, they'll change their behavior towards you, too.
That's a really good one. Yes. Okay. What's number 2?
I love that they snuggle up with me when I'm unhappy or not feeling well. They know. And they'll snuggle up with me extra close in the bed. And I actually have a couple cats that pet me.
What? Really?
Up and pet my hair when I'm not. My late pumpkin used to do that.
Aw, like a there. Is that what they're doing?
Yeah.
Aw. And what would be a 3rd reason?
I guess the 3rd thing is because I live alone, I'm the only human here. I'm never lonely because they're always making me laugh.
Okay.
They're so funny, their antics, and you never can predict what they're going to do next.
All right. I love these. All right, Linda, you're up. 3 reasons that you love cats.
Well, I love dogs too, but I got to tell you, going out and walking. And I live in Ohio. There's snow here. I'm not digging on going out walking in the snow and the ice and picking up poo. So, cats are the way to go on that one. And what Rita said about earning the trust, she's one of her cats I've visited 3 or 4 times now, and just the last time decided it loved me. There's no better feeling than earning a cat's trust. And dogs are just like, I love you, no matter what. But you got to work your way in. There's something very rewarding about getting love back.
I like that.
And at night, a cat on my head purring, man, that's the best thing ever. I don't need one of those white noise machines. I got purring me to sleep. They're the best.
I like that. Well, I used to say, when I give some talks, I used to say that, we love it that our dogs love us. But for people, I always hear people say, yeah, my dog really loves me. And I think my cat does too. So it's always that little, oh, please, hope. And I think when you get a cat that loves you, you've already won the lottery, right, Rita?
definitely. And I'll tell you, as a cat sitter too, we'd be going in to take care of strange kitties. And my favorite thing was if a cat was more aloof and maybe after 2-3 visits decided to come out and let me pet him. It's like, I won the lottery, like you said. It's like, wow, I won this cat over that the owner said I never would win over.
You like me. You
really like me. Every cat's middle name is Sally Field.
Yes.
Hey guys, I've really enjoyed having you both on the show. I want you all to please dash over to ritareimers.com. And if you're in the LA area, they've got a partnership with a pet sitting company. Go to justforcatspetsitting.com, and they do have services in the Carolinas. These two ladies, Linda Hall and Rita Reimers, they get around, and I don't mean it in a catty way. Yes, I do mean it in a catty way, a good catty way, because we got to up that phrase too before we go. But anything else you'd like to say? We'll start with you, Linda, first, that you really want to have our listeners know.
There's so much to educate. Again, dogs are what they are. They present themselves. They're wide open. Cats, Rita really has taught me. She watches them and she'll, look at the way his tail's curved over. He's curious about you. Or she taught me about blinky eyes, that's the way cats say I love you. And then you get a blinky eye. You wouldn't have noticed it before and known your cat loves you. So she's really taught me to understand. And I'd really say if you've got a cat, take the time to read up on them and educate yourself about them, because you'll get so much more out of your relationship.
Yeah, and you got to dash over to Catster and get the digital or the print, because one of the star columnists is Rita Reimers. So, Rita, what would be a parting message you'd like to give?
Just come to ritareimers.com. If you don't join the clubhouse, there's still blogs I write that will be helpful to you. Make an effort to understand your kitties. It'll be well worth it.
All right. Hey, guys, we've been speaking with Rita Reimers and Linda Hall. And have you guys noticed I haven't heard a single meow or I think she's got all her cats, all 19 in one house and 8 in the other, on mute. What do you guys think?
It's odd. That never happens. I don't know. That
never happens. This far. Yeah, but you know what? I agree with you both. Cats make our lives so much better. They're very smart. They're very savvy. I like to say, they're kind of funky because they're both a prey and predator. So, they're not little dogs. They're CATs. And you guys are bringing that message out loud and clear. And I applaud you, and my cats are doing their paw clapping. They're very, very talented. Paws up! So I thank you both for being guests on our shows. Again, dash over to ritareimers.com after this episode. And I also want to do a shout out to a real man who loves cats. I'm talking about my executive producer, Mark Winter. He is the executive producer of the entire network of Pet Life Radio. We've been in existence 13 years before a podcast really podcast. So he's really been the mastermind, the Wizard of Paws, if you will. And he has a couple of cats at home he really, really loves, included one who just kind of walked into his house and said, looked around, said, yeah, this will do. So you can't say no to a cat like that, Dennis. So Dennis, we're shouting out to you, man. So everyone, until next time, this is your flea-free host, Arden Moore, delivering just 2 words to all you 2, 3, and 4-leggers out there. Oh, behave.
Coast to coast and around the world, it's Oh Behave with Arden Moore. Find out why cats and dogs do the things they do, and get the latest buzz from wagging tongues and tails in Rin Tin Tinseltown. From famous pet experts and best-selling authors to television and movie stars, you'll get great tail-wagging pet tips and have a fur-flying fun time. Oh Behave with America's pet edutainer, Arden Moore. Every week on demand, only on PetLifeRadio.com.